The biggest selling point for the Rafale jet is that it bypasses a possible American embargo, said Vautravers. It is better not to rely solely on the U.S. for defense equipment if Washington imposes economic sanctions. Rafale, like the Russian system, allows people to diversify, he said. Overall, Rafale's sales are better now, because there's a growing market, said Vautravers. The real test of how to evaluate how well French aircraft perform in a competitive market is to look at the countries where Dassault has found new buyers. Lockheed Martin has sold nearly 1,000 F-35s worldwide, not counting orders from the U.S. Army itself. And more orders mean U.S. manufacturers can do what Dassault Aviation can't: lower their prices. The F-35A model costs less than $80 million, 70 million euros. This puts Rafale in an uncomfortable position. The F-35 is cheaper, newer, has been in service for only 15 years, and 40% more efficient, according to estimates by Swiss authorities, explains Vautravers. Both aircraft occupy the same market niche: multi-purpose or omni-purpose fighter jets, using the official Dassault aviation jargon. During a single mission they are capable of establishing air superiority, a traditional fighter jet mission, as well as conducting bombing and ground support operations. But the F-35 is also a stealth fighter, which is not the case with the Rafale, and has a greater range. The main advantage of the French aircraft is strategic. Until 2015, Dassault Aviation struggled, and that wasn't a lack of effort. Whether in Brazil, India or the UAE, negotiations have been ongoing with Abu Dhabi since 2008. The Rafale is deemed too expensive. It costs around 100 million euros, not to mention its maintenance costs, which are among the highest on the market, according to a report published in the journal, published by the University of Toulon in 2011. Its competitors, such as the multinational Eurofighter, Swedish Gripen fighter and American jet, often sell for less than 100 million euros. In fact, French aircraft are locked in a vicious circle. Dassault Aviation needs more orders before economies of scale allow it to be sold at lower prices, but countries are reluctant to commit to buying because of the price, and the sale of jets to the French military alone will never be big enough. Eventually the Rafale showed its usefulness in Libya and Afghanistan as the first decades of the 2000s ended, generating more international interest. Its performance in combat conditions was a tipping point, according to the business daily La Tribune. In 2015 Egypt became the first Rafale buyer outside the French military, buying around 20 jets. Other contracts follow, with India, Qatar, Greece and Croatia, until the UAE this week becomes the sixth member of Rafale's foreign customer club. This latest contract means more Rafale jets are now sold overseas than in France. 236 international sales versus 192 domestic sales. Qatar's Air Force modernization program began in 2015. Qatar agreed to purchase 24 Rafale multi-role jets from Dassault Aviation for $6 billion. In 2018, another 12 Rafales were ordered, bringing the total number of Rafales to 36. Qatar also has the option to purchase another 36 Rafales. Greece became the first European buyer of France's Rafales in January 2021, when it reached a $2.8 billion deal to buy 18 warplanes. Greece will buy 12 used jets from the French Air Force inventory and 6 new jets by the end of 2022 under the terms of the arrangement. The sale of 80 Rafale fighter jets to the United Arab Emirates is not only considered historic, but also appears to confirm the continued commercial success of the French fighter, a twin jet that can operate from both land and aircraft carriers. Dassault was initially unable to export the Rafale outside of France. The company's Mirage jets were popular in the 1970s, but the Rafale didn't have the same success. the fact that it is more expensive than its American rival is a major hurdle to its export prospects. According to a paper published by the University of Toulon in 2011, the market value of the Rafale is around €100 million, placing it among the most expensive fighter jets in the world. Competitors such as the European Eurofighter, Swedish Gripen and American jets, typically sell for less than €100 million. France is said to have spent more than $50 billion on the Rafale development, a hefty sum for a country that spends about $60 billion on defense every year. This has been a major problem during President Nicolas Sarkozy's tenure as the country faces economic difficulties. But the rise of the Rafale, once described as a cursed plane, and now considered a success story, is less impressive in the context of the wider international arms market, says Alexandre Vautravers, weapons expert and editor of the Swiss Military. This achievement is far below the direct competition, starting with the American F-35 made by Lockheed Martin, which was announced at the same time, he told France 24.